Yeah,
but she needs to be on a better. She needs to be on a better team.
Now that Caitlin Clark has signed a new contract in Europe, ESPN is acting like they have any control over her choices, but the truth is Clark has packed her bags and she is not looking back, no matter how much they yell, beg, or stomp their feet, and that's because Clark has real common sense and self-respect, because unlike the so-called WNBA geniuses, Clark actually knows her worth, and she will not stay around to be a punching bag for a league that can't even protect its biggest star.
She struggled with physical defense she's faced at the professional level and voiced frustration with the league's officiating, recently telling reporters, quote, "I feel like I'm getting hammered and everybody is physical with me, and opponents get away with things that other people don't get away with." That's what Caitlin Clark said.
She has been attacked by fans who could not accept that she was the only person keeping this joke of a league alive, and she has been beaten up by players while the referees just ignored it.
What I am upset about is like, hey man, your meal ticket is under constant attack. There's been dirty plays all season.
But now that she decided she is worth more than the NBA's beat-up cash cow, everyone is freaking out. Sorry ESPN, your golden goose has flown the coop and all you are left with is a big empty nest full of what could have been. After dropping a huge shock on the WNBA, Caitlin Clark is leaving for Europe, and it is almost funny how ESPN is acting like they do not care. After she carried the whole league on her shoulders all season, taking rough fouls and getting her body slammed like she was on a hockey rink instead of a basketball court, Caitlin has finally decided that enough is enough, and honestly I do not blame her at all. She is walking away leaving behind a trail of broken dreams and hurt egos.
This kid's on the wrong team. She's got the wrong skill set to handle the physicality of that league, and she's a rookie.
This is not just a player moving forward in her career. Remember her 29 points, 10 assists, and 7 rebounds in her last game against the Connecticut Sun, while her teammates were busy messing up in a comedy of mistakes, missing easy shots and calling dumb plays that would make a high school coach cry. So what did the WNBA do? They let the referees treat her like a punching bag while they just stood there. Fans did not sign up to watch a UFC fight, but that is exactly what the WNBA turned into every time Clark stepped onto the court.
Caitlin Clark was assaulted yesterday in her very first playoff game in the WNBA.
And now that Caitlin is gone, ESPN and their analysts are finally realizing they were sitting on a cash cow the whole time. How convenient, because before Caitlin, the league was struggling and nobody really cared.
The Indiana Fever, all right, with Caitlin Clark, led the league in attendance both home and on the road. Fever averaged 17,000.
How's that for impact? They had a once-in-a-generation phenomenon, not just a regular star, and yet they still chose to focus on spreading the money around instead of giving credit to the one player who almost by herself made the WNBA famous.
If Caitlin Clark is the quote-unquote savior, if she's the golden girl, milk it!
And let's not even talk about merchandise sales. Caitlin Clark's jersey sold more than any player in league history, beating legends like Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird. This was not just impressive, it was historic. She turned the WNBA into something people had to watch on TV, and her games felt like big national events. But did ESPN ever treat her like the superstar she really is? Nope. They gave her weak coverage and acted like she was just another player, and now they are rushing around trying to act like they did not ignore her. Too late ESPN, you missed the boat, and it has already sailed across the Atlantic.
The truth is finally coming to the light. The same light that is going to be dimming here in about 12 hours when Caitlin Clark is eliminated from the playoffs.
Let's talk about attendance for a second. The game against the New York Liberty pulled in 1.5 million viewers, which is more than some NBA games on TNT, and now that she is leaving, there are empty seats everywhere, dusty jerseys, and loud talking heads at ESPN trying to understand how they managed to mess up the easiest win in sports TV history. It is honestly funny watching ESPN now that Caitlin Clark has chosen to move to Europe after what has been nothing short of a nightmare WNBA career. And suddenly everyone else is rushing to finally pay attention.
It's important that we point this out. One of the things that I brought up this morning in talking about Caitlin Clark is that some of the players, you want to use the word jealousy, fine. You want to use the word envy, fine.
Imagine being a rising star and the face of a team, and the league treats you like a punching bag. That is how rough and violent things were for Clark in the league. Forget about her protecting herself. It felt like she was walking into a street fight every single time she tied her shoes, and the league's response was to act like nothing at all was wrong.
But if you're not delivering the product, and you're not making the revenue, and you're not,
giving people the entertainment that they want, then you're not going to make any money and your league is going to suck.
And let's not even get started on the referees. If you watched any of her games, it seemed like they were playing see no evil, hear no evil. Clark was getting hit and shoved on the court, and she even said she felt like she was being beaten up. So what did the WNBA do? The infamous IPOED incident should have been a wake-up call, but instead the league just ignored it, acting like it was normal for a top player to be treated like an outsider in her own league.
And this woman swats at the basketball and somehow decides to turn her hand down and her fingernails and jab them right into the eye of Caitlin Clark. No foul call. No refs stopping the game to go look. Is this a flagrant? None of that. Just everybody moved on.
The mental toll, there are no words for it. Every missed chance, every cheap hit that knocks you down. You are working so hard to lead your team, but all you get in return is being left exposed, unprotected, and even worse, blamed for not being able to take a break. The league and its media completely dropped the ball, so badly that it is still rolling, and now they are scrambling to catch up, which just looks so sad.
Those guys, they're the racists, when really, y'all are the racists. The people coming up with excuses to hate Caitlin Clark and the new fan base that she brought.
But wait, it gets even juicier. Alyssa Thomas made comments about racial prejudice among the fans. Thomas claimed that instead of just appreciating Clark's jaw-dropping talent, ESPN somehow acted like Clark's success was tied to racial dynamics.
Honestly, it's been a lot of nonsense. I think in my 11-year career, I've never experienced the racial comments from the Indiana Fever fan base. We had her face on a serious matter that happened in this world, and it's unacceptable, honestly. And there's no place for it. And
instead of showing off her record-breaking games, they turned her success into this silly story and ran it like breaking news, trying to make Clark's achievements about race, while she was out there smashing records, breaking ankles, and carrying her team on her back.
She's got 14,000 followers. And it's really easy to ignore, and most people don't know who she is in the sports world. The only reason why people even know who she is because of Caitlin Clark. And she still only got 14,000 followers on Twitter. She doesn't have much of a brand.
Clark stood her ground, saying her success comes from hard work and determination, not some cheap racial story. But the fact she even had to say that shows how messed up the media coverage has been. And then, because they clearly can't read the room, they doubled down, trying to stir up drama even more.
She's the golden goose.
They could have shown her as the next big star, spoiler alert, she is, but instead they focused on a story that only hurts reputations and damages her image. It's really shameful, and what good does that do for public opinion? Clark has done all the hard work and should not have to deal with these sideshow controversies instead of getting the praise she deserves, because it just makes everything toxic.
Your biggest star, your meal ticket, the reason why you have relevancy, just got stabbed and assaulted and nothing.
The WNBA as a whole looks like amateurs because of this situation, and let's not even start on the stories around the league's so-called inclusivity. The league really needs to wake up. They promoted themselves as all about equality and opportunity all season, but when it was time to protect their most valuable player, they just left her hanging.
What I am upset about is like, hey man, your meal ticket is under constant attack. There's been dirty plays all season.
The WNBA and ESPN are now going to feel the consequences of ignoring the one player who turned them into something exciting to watch, and it's way too late. The WNBA had a chance to build a whole franchise around Caitlin and make her the face of the league, but they dropped the ball, and now they've lost their brightest star. They let her slip away, and now they have to watch as she takes her talent and all the excitement she created to a league that actually values her. Now that she's packing her bags for Europe, everyone is acting like they just realized she's the real deal. Good luck to Caitlin Clark in Europe. She's going somewhere that will truly appreciate her talent and won't let her get hammered every game while the refs look the other way. As for ESPN, they're sitting there trying to spin the story and save face, but the truth is they screwed up and let a generational talent slip through their fingers. Now they're left with nothing, and maybe, just maybe, this will be the wake-up call they need, because right now they're the punchline of a joke they didn't even realize they were telling. Her move to Europe will wreak havoc at ESPN, and they'll have to say goodbye to the juicy ratings she brought. The irony is that they finally realize what a treasure they had just as she's leaving. As Caitlin Clark packs up for Europe, the spike in merchandise sales and all the buzz she brought to a league that, let's be honest, needed a miracle to stay relevant, is now going with her. Meanwhile, ESPN and the WNBA are stuck trying to hype players who can't even come close to what Clark did in a single season. They could have built an empire around her, but instead, they're left with scraps. This isn't just a loss, it's a disaster. The WNBA had a shot at greatness, and they blew it. Players like Clark don't come along very often, and when they do, you treat them like royalty. ESPN messed up, the WNBA messed up, and Europe gets the prize they truly deserve. Caitlin, you deserve so much more than this mess.